But I loved it that it kind of poked fun at itself a little bit and just had fun, and yeah. I think everyone enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think
and
so
what
too.
I loved was the opening credits, when the actors' names would come up, including yours, of course. People were applauding. You never have that happen. And so I think it was a whole Fantastic Fest vibe, and they have a lot of fun.
Good crowd. It's a great theater too. Yeah, the fact that you can get the food and the drink and all that stuff, it's very good.
You know, I love that theater for certain movies. For more serious movies, sometimes I'm like, I think I'm going to see it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because it just that type of movie is perfect for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there are some where I like, no, let's go somewhere you don't see a little waiter's head going by.
Yeah.
You know, as discreet as they
There's
try
no
to be.
ice in my soda.
That's right. And you're like, Schindler's List,
No,
and you're like, shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. First of all, is this true? It was the first time you've seen it?
That's correct. Yeah, last night was the first time I saw the movie.
What did you think?
I loved it. I really loved it. I was very happy with the way it turned out. It was just a barrel of laughs, wasn't it? And the really great action, and just how often do you get to see a movie with Bruce Willis, Morgan Freeman, John Malkovich, Helen Mirren, Ernest Borgnine, Richard Dreyfuss. I mean, it's an insane cast who were really spoiled in this movie.
You know, it always surprises people that you haven't seen the movie before anyone else would see it.
Yeah.
Do they not cater to you after?
Well, no,
I
did. I had the opportunity to see it, but through various ways that my schedule timed out, I couldn't take that opportunity. But and also I live in New Zealand, so it's not as easy to do as you think.
All right, so you're in the theater. It's packed with people. It's Fantastic Fest. You've never seen it. Is there a little bit of trepidation there where you're going, oh my gosh, I hope it turned out well?
No, there wasn't. I had I'd heard from a lot of people that it's a really fun, great movie. So I felt quite relaxed. But normally, yes, I do feel you do feel a little bit of anxiety. But no, last night was really fun. It was a great night.
Is it your first Fantastic Fest?
It is. Yeah, it was.
It's kind of a different type of festival, isn't it? I guess with the whole genre, and they only play certain types of films. But let's get back to Dredd. Okay. There's a fight scene in there that I thought was one of the best, just in-your-face fight scenes I've seen in a while. Did you have fun doing that, or was it just hard work?
I wouldn't say it was fun. It was pretty grueling, but a lot of fun working with Bruce. And I mean, how often do you get to throw Bruce Willis across the room and watch him smash into furniture? That was fun. Yeah. On
the flip side, how often do you get thrown on the floor and have a file cabinet on top of you?
That's it. Yeah, it's it was interesting. We shot that over about 2 weeks, and I didn't actually realize it at the time. But I sustained a few minor injuries that I had to get physio for. So I'm going to give Bruce the bill when I see him.
What kind of injuries did you get?
I had what's called bursitis in my shoulder, which is basically a swelling on the tendon, and then just basically some deep tissue issues, spinal issues. We did this. What's it called when it's called a suplex, when one character grabs another, and they do this complete flip, and that sort of crunches your neck. So I didn't do the whole suplex. I did part of it, but still, I did it wrong.
People do think that you have, of course, the stuntmen come in, but you have to do a certain amount of it to make it look realistic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Bruce and I trained pretty full on for, a good 4 or 5 weeks, about 3 weeks, just concentrating on that fight. But it's worth it, and you see it in the film, and it passes in the blink of an eye. The audience doesn't quite realize how much, as they shouldn't, how much work actually goes into it.
And you say that was about 2 weeks?
3.
For that one long extended fight scene?
Yeah, we would shoot a bit and then go away and shoot other stuff and come back, because the office sort of got destroyed in the process. So, yeah.
At Fantastic Fest last night, a lot of people applauded when they saw Ernest Borgnine back on the screen and in this movie.
Wasn't it fantastic to see him again? I mean, what an incredible, iconic Hollywood actor, and it was really wonderful working with him, to hear him talk about, From Here to Eternity, or the old guys like Mitchum and Lee Marvin, and it was a real pleasure to have him on set and just to listen to those old Hollywood tales. Yeah.
I was going to say, were you that familiar with him coming into
Well,
the
yeah,
movie?
absolutely. I did. Even from growing up, movies like Poseidon Adventure, and regardless of the other films that I caught later on. So it was a real thrill for me to get to work with him. Yeah.
All right, coming up after this, the Star Trek sequel.
That's correct. Yeah.
Is that coming up? I notice whenever I look, I don't really see a date with it.
Yeah, well, I think we are starting to shoot that in August next year, I think is the latest that I've heard. So I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, working with J.J. Abrams and Roberto Orci, Alex Kurtzman, and the cast, they're really fantastic. We had so much fun making that film, and I'm thrilled that it was such a phenomenal success and that we now get the opportunity to make more.
And are you a Trekkie?
Yeah, I actually, out of all of the cast, I was, I think myself and Simon Pegg were the ones who were probably the most familiar with the original series. But, I certainly caught a few incarnations, Next Generation and Voyager along the way. So yeah, it was very surreal to be a part of that movie and to be standing on the bridge and saying those, iconic lines. It was very surreal.
Did you play it as a kid?
No, I didn't play Star Trek as a kid so much. Star Wars was kind of the thing that was, really quite big with all my friends. But I was, out of all my friends, I was the one who was, watching Star Trek in the weekends as well. So.
All right, and Judge Dredd.
I think it was a bit freaky for some people, for kids for my age.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It's
but
true.
I always loved that. To me, that was one of the things that I loved being scared by watching things as a kid. And things that are a little bit freaky, a little bit taboo. I liked that.
One of the questions at Fantastic Fest last night talked about that because a lot of the movies that you've been in have had a little bit of that fantasy or sci-fi or kind of element to them. But you were saying that's really not, you didn't go into it seeking that out, is that right?
No, I mean, that's just the way. I mean, yes, I've done, films like Lord of the Rings and Star Trek and stuff that is genre-based, but I've also done stuff like, The Bourne Supremacy or some New Zealand films called The Price of Milk or Out of the Blue, which, based in reality. So it's, I think it's important to diversify as much as you can as an actor. And as I was saying last night, quite often, once you get sort of perceived to do something and do it well, in Hollywood, you tend to get offered more of the same sort of stuff. And, if you want to diversify, then, you really have to be very proactive about going after different kinds of material.
Were you proactive about Red?
Yes, I was actually. I was. Firstly, I read the script and I loved it, and then had a meeting with Robert Schwanke, the director, and really kind of made a great connection with him. And I thought, wow, this is something that I think that I'd like to be a part of. And then it was insane. It just seemed like every week when I was reading the paper, it's like, oh, Helen Mirren's signed on, John Malkovich has signed on, Morgan Freeman signed on. It's like suddenly this, I had no idea of, what the ensemble cast was going to be, but it just ballooned out into, just an embarrassment of riches. So.
And you're like, good choice.
I was like, yeah, great choice. Oh my God. I mean, it was one of those surreal moments where you get to work with, actors whose work you have admired for so long, and you find yourself in a situation where you're working with these sort of iconic people, and it was I just had a lot of fun.
Do you get anything? I would think you must, but you tell me. Do you get anything out of working alongside those people who've been in the industry so long?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I think every time you go to work, you learn, and you can't help but learn things when you're working with the likes of Bruce and Helen and John, and that was certainly the case here.
One last thing, Judge Dredd coming up. You had to get in shape for this.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
What are you doing?
It's a process. It is a process of it's just grueling, and it's I'd like to say I'm enjoying it, but I'm looking forward to the day that I can revert to a beer drinking, you know, pizza-eating sports fan. But it's great. I mean, I'm getting in the best shape of my life, and I think that's a good thing.
Is that like with a trainer and what you
Yeah.
eat? Is it on every
yeah.
level?
Every level. Working with a trainer, it's diet, it's everything. It's a full-on 24-hour commitment. So I've got about 6 weeks to go. So.
But you are a fan of Judge Dredd.
Oh yeah, I am actually. You know, I read the comic, you know, when I was a boy working in a pizza parlor in Wellington, and so you know, to get the opportunity to bring this character to the screen is one that I'm really quite thrilled about. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cool. Well, that was pretty painless, wasn't it?